And now it's on the road. It shifts fine, but there is like a noise. It sounds like a wheel bearing noise. Yep. So if I move it to the right, yep, I could feel it. This might be a wheel bearing problem. And it really shows up like once it reaches like around 40 mile an hour speed. Yeah, see that? It doesn't show up when you move it to the left. But once you steer to the right, you could hear the sound more, or it changes pitch. So I will try change the wheel bearing on this, see if it helps. But yeah, I mean, steering is actually pretty nice on this. I've driven other Honda Pilots before with the same mileage, like around 245, 250,000 miles, and their steering rack is shot. So today we'll be replacing the wheel bearing. I suspect that this side is bad, and it looks like it got a new CV axle. The nut is still new. And first I removed the caliper, the whole thing. These are the 17mm bolts that holds it here. Yep, so there's two. You don't need to disassemble the brakes, just hang it there. And then what I'm planning is basically try to remove this big bolts over here, and then we can take out the axle. I have to use an impact screwdriver to take this out. They're actually stuck in here really well. I have to pound it out with a big hammer sledge. Yeah, they're rusted. So I got the rotors off. It's so rusted. Yep. So it took like several walks. This side with wood and a big hammer to take this out. So got this big 36mm socket here. My air hammer, my battery impact cannot take this out, so I have to use air. So that's the nut there. I'm gonna try remove this and see what happens. I don't think I need to remove the ABS sensor though. Yeah, I'll just leave it as it is. So I was able to remove the axle here without taking the ABS sensor and the tie rod. So yeah, once you take this out, these two big bolts from the strut, there should be enough space to actually pull this out. This is my setup for removing the hub. So this is my hub grappler. Then at the back, yep, at the back I just use the big nut there and then hold it with the monkey wrench. So I'm gonna try losing this out. I have to manually do this because my first try was bad. I put it in the wrong spot and it's actually like pushing this one here, the what they call that, the brake shield. So I'm moving it here, and so far it's doing well. Don't see any issues, and it's dawn ready for dusk. So I'm moving it slowly with the breaker bar. And I could see it like going out. So this is the problem with the rusted hub, because the snap ring here is actually stuck. So I even tried my snap ring pliers, and this wouldn't even move at all to compress. So this is rusted stuck. I actually put in penetrating PB blaster overnight, and this morning it's still bad. It's still stuck. Oh, I'm in big trouble. I broke the ear here trying to lodge it out, but it's like really stuck. So I need to buy a new snap ring. So this one I was able to move it up, and then I'm gonna slowly pry it out. This is slowly prying it out. Okay. Yep. So I need a new snap ring. Now since the snap ring is gone, we can take out this bearing. Okay, here's my setup for taking the bearings out. So we'll see. This is not an easy task. I have to use a breaker bar, and then the handle of the floor jack to actually take the bearings out. Finally got it out. There you go. So there's a stopper there. Yep. So time to put the bearing in. My bearing. I got it freeze overnight too. So there's no orientation for this one. It's national bearing. Okay, so it's cold still, but there's no effect. Yeah, it's still tight. So I'm gonna press that in. At the back, and this what they call this is almost just a little bit smaller than the bearing. So I'm tightening it, and that's actually moving in pretty easy, really soft. I put some grease there, clean up the hole. Yeah, it should be painless to put this in. Yep, we're almost there. We'll just wait until it tightens. Once it's very tight, it means that it's all the way in. place. Yep. And then we're gonna deal with this hub. We need to take this race out. So I have a bearing separator, and there's like a small gap in there. I'll try tighten it and see if it comes out a little bit. I'll probably put some heat over here. The bearing splitter didn't work because there's no, you cannot grab the sides here. So I'm better off to grind this part and crack it. And once it's cracked, it's easy to slide it out. The snap ring installed. There's no stock in the parts store for this snap ring, so next time if you buy a bearing, make sure that you have a snap ring just in case you destroy the snap ring. So it's time to install the hub. So I got these two adapters. The one at the back basically fits the inner race, and this one fits the hub. I got the rail bearing, the hub in place, and then I put the axle back in, and then put in the screw, and then also put in the bolts back on the strut. Gonna tighten them, and also this one. Things are torqued now. Put some anti-seize in here. Put the screws back, the caliper, and the strut bolts. Yep. Time to put back the wheels. So there's a big difference now. It's so quiet. So I'm approaching 40 and there's no more noise. Yep. No more noise at 40. Usually wheel bearings, they become noisy at 30 to 40. Yep. So right now it's really quiet once the right or passenger side wheel bearing was replaced. Yep. It's not the left bearing, it's basically the right. I was wondering if most of the wheel bearing failures are actually on the right side, because maybe we do sharp turns when doing right instead of the left one. That's just my theory, because on my Prius I did a lot of wheel bearing on Prius and they're all on the right side, which is kind of funny.